Then we're going to follow the spinal cord, the base of it here, and take it all the way along the side of the thumb here to the top area. Let's move on the reference book onto the dorsal view. Okay, so if I can have your hands and I'll map those to this. We've got the brain at the top of those as well, following on from the brain at the thumb, going across to these two. Then coming back to the smaller finger here, we've got the shoulder area. Welcome, Melissa.
Hello.
And thank you once again for helping me relearn hand reflexology. And what I'd like to do today is really get a visual of some of the reflex points in the hands. And in order to do that, what I'd like to do is use a reference manual with some colourful pictures and really enable me to use that to pinpoint some of the key reflex points in the hands. And that way we can ultimately lead to a reflex treatment. But I'm not feeling confident enough yet to do a full hand reflexology treatment. I feel I just need one more session on tracing these reflex points to get them in my head. So this is one of my useful books that I use, a step-by-step guide to reflexology, which is proving quite useful. And they've got some very visual hand reflexology reference maps, and that's what I'm going to use today. When you first look at this, you have to look at it this way so that you actually understand the positioning of it. So the best way is just to take it one hand at a time, and this is what we call the plantar view, which is the inside palm area. And as you can see here, it's going to be quite awkward because if you look at it this way,
yes, that's this one.
Yeah, and that's this one. So in my head, I've got to obviously transpose slightly. I'm having real difficulty finding a better learning tool. Maybe there's a niche in the market for learning tools on hand reflexology. So what we are going to do is work our way round this, transposing as we go along, and focus, as I said, on one hand first. So if it's possible for you to put that hand, relax that hand, and we're going to focus on this left plantar view to start with, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so we're going to, I'm literally just going to follow the words around and point to the area, and that hopefully will sit in my brain that much better, so that when I come to do the actual treatment, I'll automatically know where these reflex points are, and really take full advantage then of this treatment, so that I can help to relax my clients through the use of hand reflexology, particularly useful for those that are unable to do foot reflexology, for example, those that are not well or have problems with their feet. It does still enable them to do, to benefit from reflexology by doing it on the hand. But you've just got to become familiar with where all these reflex points actually are. So we're going to start over here, which is with the ovaries. We're going to follow the fallopian tube over to this side where we have the uterus. Then we're going to follow the spinal cord, the base of it here, and take it all the way along the side of the thumb here to the top area of the spinal cord. And then we're going to go inwards here And then we're going to use our reference point to go slightly in and find the bladder here. And then we've got the ureter tube going up to the adrenal glands. Okay, and then at the base of the thumb here, we've got the neck and the thyroid gland there. Then further in, we've got that's much further up. Okay, so let's try and find the pancreas and stomach area. So we're going much further up here. So we've got the pancreas and the larger stomach area around here. And then going up, we've got just on the tip of the thumb here, we've got the brain, the pituitary and the pineal gland there. And then further down the thumb, we've got one of the sinus areas here, which are also on the bottom area of these fingers and the top of this one here. And then slightly below that sinus area, we've got the ears, slightly below that. And then at the very top there, we've got the brain continuing at the very tips of the fingers there. And then going on to this smaller finger, we've got the shoulder in the top part of this. And obviously with people with shoulder aches and pains, these are the areas that you would work. You've got what we call the axilla here, which is the armpit area, just around this area. And then going all the way across here, we've got the diaphragm. Then coming along quite a large area there is the spleen. And then going in to that area, we've got the sigmoid. Slightly on the side here, we've got the hip and pelvis area and the coccyx area at the bottom of that as well. And then that takes us back to the base of the spinal area. So that is the plantar view of the hand done. Actually, that seems a lot more simple than I thought it was going to be. I think when you first look at the diagram, actually the visuals are helping, the colours are helping on this, which I think is useful, and having it this way actually helps as well. So that's actually very helpful to me, and I think I'd be confident in doing a treatment much more than I was previously, so thank you for that. So we're going to swap over hands, and we're now going to look at this one. So again, we're going to start on the side with the thumb, and again we're going to start with the ovary here and moving across the lymphs and the fallopian tube along here to the uterus on this side, and then we're going to do the base of the spine, going up the thumb to the top of the spine, and then we'll go I don't know what to do here. How did I do it there so simply, and I'm struggling with this side. What did I do? I did that and then I went up that way. What am I doing differently? That's making it so complicated. Maybe I need to go that way round. Do these words that way round. So we need to start here. Sorry, we're going to have to start again on that one.
It's okay. It's quite informative. I'm learning a lot.
So I need to do it that way round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. So where we've got the uterus here, We then come upwards, and then if I can just open your palm slightly there, you've got the bladder there, the ureter coming up, and the adrenal glands and the kidney there. Then at the base of the thumb, this is much better. You've literally got to go that way around. The neck and thyroid gland there, and then at the top we've got the brain, the pituitary and the pineal gland there, and again the sinuses here. Where are those other sinuses? These here, and slightly higher up here. Then we've got the ears coming across these first two fingers here. We've got the brain at the top of those as well, following on from the brain at the thumb, going across to these two. Then coming back to the smaller finger here, we've got the shoulder area. Then just here we've got that axilla armpit. Then the diaphragm going across there. And we've only got the liver on this side, because on the other side we had something else as well. So we've got the liver there. Diaphragm, liver, intestines, all the way, that huge area that they've got all the way across. So you've got the intestines bundled into that area. And at the bottom down here you've got that iliocacial valve. Then at the side here you've got the hip and pelvis area. Then back down to that base of the spinal area, finishing up there across the base of the spine, and that takes you back to the ovary here and the fallopian tube and the uterus. Okay, got there eventually. That was a bit harder, but once you get in your head that you're actually, if you're following the words that are spelt out here and going around that way, that makes it a little bit clearer. Okay, so that completes the tracing of the plantar view for, first of all, the left hand palmar view, plantar view, or palmar view sometimes referred to, and the right side as well. Only very few differences there. Okay, so let's move on the reference book onto the dorsal view. So again, I'm going to have to put it a little bit nearer so that I can actually read it. Okay, so if I can have your hands, and I'll map those to this. This is the dorsal view, so looking down on the top of your hands. So let's start with the left dorsal view. So if you could pop that down, that would be helpful. And we should just be able, I can get this a little bit closer so that I can read it. We should do similar to what we did on the previous page, literally just follow this round. So if we do that, and then we'll do the other way on that, I think that will make it easier. So again, we're going to start here with following the diagram of the finger down. So we'll start with the ovaries, which is here, moving across the lymph and fallopian tubes, across to the uterus here. And then we've got the pelvis hip and sciatic nerve. So if I can just turn yours is slightly to the side. Okay, that makes sense. Then the next part, we've got the knee and elbow in this area here. And then back here, we've got this huge area that they're referring to here, which is the stomach area, which goes huge. It's right the way across here. So you would work that whole area with some of your thumb moves. Okay. And then after the stomach, we've got the diaphragm area coming right across underneath all of the fingers. That's the diaphragm area there. And then going back, this whole area here is the edge of the shoulder. Okay, and then this top part here, you've got the lung, breast, ribs and heart sitting in there. That sort of makes sense, doesn't it? And actually, I think that stomach and pancreas area is a little bit further down. Right, we'll have to watch that one. And then we've done the shoulder area. The next one here is the sinuses. So we've got the sinuses here and in the lower part here and the thumb as well. We've got the other side of the ear on this one, this one, this one. And if you're wondering why they're on both sides, it's when you're massaging on reflex, you'll be doing the underside and this side at the same time. So if it looks like you would think, okay, haven't we already done the ears? But when you're doing the hand, you could do it like that. So you're actually covering both at the same time. So that's useful. And then coming down on the thumb part here to the thyroid gland there, and then that takes us back to the uterus, just there. Okay, that's quite straightforward, I think. So that's much clearer than the first time I attempted it a while ago. Okay, so the dorsal view of the right hand. So we'll do this, but we will go that way round, which I think will get it more firmly into my head. So if we start here at the ovaries, go across the lymph and fallopian tube to the uterus, and then we've got the pelvis, hip and sciatic nerve in this area here. We've got the knee and the elbow up here. We've got the liver, let's get this right because we've got the lungs to fit in there. So liver is down this area here. So what they've got here, yeah. Then the diaphragm going across. Okay, and while we're here, the lung and the breast area, because that's that part there, that's that larger part. And then the shoulder area there. Then we've got the sinuses, we have got up here and then here. Okay, I'm just going to redo those sinuses because I'm not sure I got them in the right place there. So sinuses here, yeah, here, here, and that's what I missed out. So we've missed out the thumb on the sinuses, which is there as well. So we just go back and pop those eyes in. Let's just redo that one. So it's actually, this is the ear and this is the eye. Okay, so we need to remember that. And then just to finish off, we've got the thyroid gland across the thumb, the base of the thumb here. And then that takes us back to the ovaries. And then I think we have covered everything. Just got a little bit muddled there, so I'm going to go back and refresh that in my head. And then I think we might be ready to attempt a treatment.
Sounds good.
You're learning lots about reflexology in the body.
It's really fascinating tracing it out on the canvas.
It is fascinating the way that when you look at this, you can actually see the body, and obviously the reflex points. If there are some amazing pictures where it's almost got the body in there, we'll have to find one. And then obviously taking the zones up through the body, and really helping it. But to be honest, just the reflex activity on the hand just is part of that overall relaxation and approach to well-being, which you know I love. But this has been one of the most challenging treatments to get back into my head, I think. But we're getting there, definitely. And we'll be doing some hand reflexology treatments very soon. So thank you very much again for the loan of your hands. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.